This is going to be hard to see. Whoever's really interested in this and wants to see, you should come up here. Because this is, I apologize. This is going to be something that you want to see. Okay, yeah, this is special. This is once in a lifetime, people. Okay, let's say that I have now taken my raceway and I got silicone all over it, so it's ready to go. I didn't put a ton. You don't want to put a ton. It's a tight fit, and most of it's going to end up all over the saw. You're going to clean it up. It's going to get in the way, so you don't want to have to deal with that. So you hook. Can everybody see this? You want to come around this side? It's really hard for me to find a place where I can not be in the way. Okay, I hooked it on the bottom there. There's a spot for it. There's a cutout here. There's only one way to put it on.
Yeah.
I hooked it on the bottom. I hooked it on the top. And now I'm just gonna roll it around
and get it back.
And get it on. Sometimes like this, I'll use a screwdriver because my finger's not as hard, and I'll just rotate it on. And there it goes. It's going on. It's on. Now this one is the greatest one. It's so simple. You take that same silicone, not the dried up stuff, the good stuff. Squirt a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit there, and you take this thing, and it's like putting together a model. And I know everybody's done that. You snap it in.
Do this for the second shift.
Yeah, well, you know what we'll do? We'll switch it. We'll switch in, and we'll come back around and do it. It's done. Now the only thing you want to do here is you want to let it dry. Don't run it right away because it's not going to stick. It's going to fall apart while you're running it. You're going to cause all kinds of trouble. So at least give it a few hours to set up. It takes 24 hours to dry completely. This is a non-permanent silicone.
Yeah.
I was just asked, what's the purpose of the raceway? What does it do? And I think I said it in passing, but let's make clear what it does. This is a protector of the saw. This is its only defense against the scourge of the belt. You can't run a rubber belt on plastic because what happens is it heats it up and it melts it. So what this does is it gives it a clean, smooth surface to run on. This, along with the water, is what keeps the saw running. And this is a byproduct of a ring saw. You got to have it on a ring saw. You've got to have something that keeps a ring on a ring saw. And that's what the raceways are for. And like I said, on a good saw, that's right. Odds are you're not going to mess with them. If you do, it's going to be hours and hours down the road. Okay, I've got other things I want to talk about. I want to kind of open up, and I want to get questions from you guys. And I'll try to fill in and give you as much as I can. I'm not going to answer the yellow grommet question no matter what. Yes?
A question about the raceways.
Okay.
Now, on the outer one, if the metal comes off, put the metal onto that?
Yeah. The same way you would put it on the inside one. But if it just comes, let's say it pops off for whatever reason. Let's say you're trying to take the blade off and you yank it and you pop it off. And you can go ahead and glue it back on. But if you're getting a raceway kit, we don't give you a raceway. We won't give you the inner one. We'll give you the outer one because we want you, and if we give you the outer one, we'll give you the inner one with it. So you're going to get the whole thing. You're getting the plastic and the metal. So majority of the time, you're not going to have to deal with putting it on that one. And we do it at work, and it's hard. It's a pain in the butt. You want to do the whole thing. Yeah, the whole thing just popped. We're talking about the outer raceway that's actually connected to the plastic when you get it. And for the gentleman in the dark shirt, the tall guy who wasn't paying attention while I was showing everybody, look at him for a little bit. Just stare at him. Stare at him for a long time, make him feel real uncomfortable. I'll say it again, it's connected, okay? You know, I'm watching this guy. He's been after me for years. What was your name again? No. Okay. Okay, question.
I've had a couple of drive wheels break or some of the grooves come off them. And the last one I had, I think, was frozen to the shaft. I had a really hard time getting it off. We finally had to cut it off.
Very difficult. I'm willing to bet that all or most of them were black in color and not blue, if you could remember.
The most recent was the blue.
It was a blue. That was the one that was stuck, or did it shatter?
That was the one that was stuck.
That was stuck. Okay, we'll talk about that. He's talking about the drive gear, number 12 on your paper. A tendency for those to shatter. If she can tell you right now, your drive gear is black, correct? Those are a different drive gear, a different brand. This is actually our brand. We make these. The ones that we used before we purchased, when they shoved in this metal piece, they'd fracture it. Now, when your saw got really hot, the fracture would open up and that thing would fall apart. So we got rid of them. Ours don't fracture. I don't think I've heard anybody break theirs that has had a blue one. Excellent piece of equipment right there, if I do say so myself, because Let's say that was my idea to get that. Okay? Now the ones that get stuck, they all get stuck. We're actually experimenting with the new ones. We're anodizing the inside, hoping to get a nice smooth action. Well, the thought was you put on this drive gear, and it lasts forever. It's almost impossible to ruin it, except for if you have a problem. So when you have a problem, these guys, they're like rotted on. It's a metal interaction. You've got stainless steel and aluminum. They interact with each other, and they basically glue themselves together. It's really hard to get off. We've got a tool that we made to get them off. It's still hard. You might have to cut it off. You might have to send it to us. It's a pain in the butt. The newer saws should be easier. So far, so good. We can't have a saw for 2 years in a couple of weeks and find out if it's going to stay. But so far, so good. The ones that are anodized, they slip on and off nice and easy. Stainless steel set screw, stainless steel shaft, and an anodized aluminum hub, which should make it really easy to turn on. It doesn't happen that often. But when it does, I'll show you that too. Now the strip gears, the teeth that are coming off, that's going to be back down here where we first started with this spring tensioner plate. What happens is this guy gets stuck somewhere, maybe on startup or maybe the whole time. So this belt is going around this drive gear, but it's jumping off. Now those teeth on that belt, instead of being gears, they're acting like teeth on a saw. They're starting to dig away the gears on that pulley, on that drive gear. After a while, you have no teeth, because this thing's dug it up. The belt's going to be messed up a little bit, but it's going to beat out this guy. Glass-filled polycarbonate against rubber wins. I don't know why, but it does. Now, this is going to be hard for you guys to see. If you look in the hole, you can see the shaft in the hole of your drive gear. There's a flat side. You want to point that to the left. I had to check, the left. So it's straight this way. It's going to be pointing at 9 o'clock. Can you see that? Everybody should be visible. You can see yours? Okay. Okay, behind that blue pulley is a U-shaped channel on the body in the gray plastic. You're going to have to kind of turn it at an angle to see it. It's going to be, maybe you can show her after I show you. Back here, you see that? See back there on my finger? It's like a bridge. Maybe you can show her for me. Can you guys see that? Yeah. That's where the set screw is located. That set screw is an Allen head set screw. A properly prepared teacher would tell you exactly what size that is, but I'm not properly prepared. If you ever have to get that off, give us a call. At the very worst, we'll actually send you the Allen wrench. So I don't know what size it is. Yes. The twos are all the same. Actually, the Taurus 1, Taurus 2, Taurus 2.2 are all exactly the same as far as the drive gears are concerned. They're all the same type of drive gear.
Same motor?
Same motor. Actually, the very first Taurus 1s were really expensive. They had a really expensive, really cool motor that was way too much motor, had a neat little speed control, all these bells and whistles that you don't need. And now they don't, because you don't need it. But the same setup, same type of motor, same setup, same horsepower, yes.
Any rule of thumb about running your water with ice?
Okay, ice is great. Blue ice is even better. We recommend it in the bull sheet. We recommend it on the website. We recommend it when you call. Totally unnecessary if you run your saw for a few minutes at a time. Because you run, you get the ice, you dump it in there, you turn your saw on, you cut, you're done. And why waste all that time? If you run your saw for like a half hour or more, ice on the left, blue ice even better. We've got a gentleman here that can tell you how good that is. It definitely makes a big deal. Now, when you're running it for a long time, heat is your enemy in the saw anyways. You run it for a long time, a couple hours, you start to steam up that water, you start to lose water, you start to build up a whole bunch of heat. Now you start to burn out your bearings, you start to burn out your grommets, your blade life shortens because you got all this heat. Diamond doesn't like heat. Diamond doesn't cut as fast, it doesn't last as long as heat. Neither do these bearings, neither does the belt, neither does the saw. And you're talking about extreme heat. When you talk about somebody not being able to put their hand on the motor, you're talking really hot. So if you're going to run it that long, put the ice in there. If you've got a grinder that you're going to run a long time, put your ice in there. If you've got a bandsaw, same thing, put ice in there. Because the colder the diamond, the better it cuts, the longer it lasts. General rule of thumb. If you look at any industry, they've got coolants that are working with the diamonds at all times. So they stay nice and cool. That's going to make everything last.
A half hour?
Half hour or more. Half hour or more is a good way to put it. If it's not a quick cut, put some ice in there. If you're going to spend some time with your saw, take the time to put the ice in.